All right, everybody. Hello and good morning. Welcome to BaseTradeTV. We got some games and such. I think for this, what is it? Hearthstone? No, that other StarCraft. StarCraft. We got StarCraft for you today. How are you doing this morning, Zombie Grub?
Terrible.
Oh,
For asking.
I'm sorry to hear. Are you still a little bit sick, I guess, or?
Oh yeah, it really hit me.
Do you need to take today off?
We'll see how it goes. I took some medicine.
I'm digging this cat cup you're drinking out of, by the way.
Thanks.
Oh, is there stuff on the inside too?
No. Oh, is there?
Yeah, there totally is.
Oh, it has like a. It says pause. Apparently.
I get it.
Inside. Yeah, it's a pun. It's spelled like a paw. It's amazing.
I am a purveyor of all fine things puns, so I'll take that.
Yes.
Anyways, brackets are finishing up as we speak, guys. Big shout-outs to Dares. He's lurking around in chat somewhere. I know he is. He's our admin and all that good stuff. But yeah, we have some cool news that's not related to the tournament, so get this out of the way real quick. First, the big news. Hey, guess what? Our house is finally ours in Korea. No Regret has officially moved in, and he spent the day, I guess, cleaning, tidying, moving things in. So we have some pictures to actually share with you a little bit later on stream today. The other thing, too, is we talked a lot about how we'd finally, or I talked about how I would finally get my rearing gear and update a lot of stuff on the channel, like our chat badges and making sure people have the month-to-month upgrades. We have some really cool designs. I'm not going to spoil any of it yet because I'm very happy with the outcomes, so those will be uploaded within a week, hopefully, and ideally. And then, last but not least, we're going to have somebody pop into chat about an hour and a half from now. She's going to do an emote for us. Since we're losing the GGs as the chat badge, I think it's time we made a GG emote. Plus, this has been really requested a lot recently, so unfortunately, for those who don't know, Twitch will no longer allow you to have just letters as emotes. You have to actually put something else on there. So when she shows up in chat, I'm going to be asking you guys to toss out some ideas, some thoughts, and what you think our GG emote should look like, so you can help influence it just a little bit. But brackets are still not finalized at the time of speaking. Hopefully they will be here in just a moment. Also, big thank yous to Crank, who is going to be the Korean cast today. Normally, I guess Golden and him are going to be sharing who can and can't go, and I don't think Golden can do it today. He's writing an exam or something, so awesome for Crank to show up and cover. But some pretty awesome names in the bracket, to say the least. I know that in the chat channel as well, we see Zest, Super, Patience. So there's some of the Protoss for you. Then you got Biol coming back, which is awesome. Lenok for some more Zerg action, Impact as well. Then for the Terrans, I see jjakji, I see Gumiho, I see Byun, I see Bunny. Quite a few good players. Even if this ends up being like half the size of the check-ins, I think we're going to get a pretty fantastic bracket.
Yeah. Really glad to see everyone signing up for these Korean leagues.
Yeah.
It truly has been a blessing that Pro League ended.
Anyways, I'm going to pre-apologize to you, Zombie Group. I have spent the last hour, while stream was getting up, watching Whose Line Is It Anyways? And like the old Whose Line Is It too, not the new one, like with Drew Carey and stuff still as the host. And unfortunately, I stumbled onto an hour of the best hoedown / Irish drinking games, and I
always skip those.
Well, here's the thing: I always hated hoedown. I didn't think it was very funny, but then I learned and saw some of the behind the scenes stuff about how Ryan Stiles actually hates hoedown, and like we see like 5 minutes, but it takes them like an hour to do because they have to keep refilming it and reshooting it and redoing it and coming up with. Anyways, so now when I watch it, I just look for the agitation and everything Ryan's doing while they're doing hoedown, and it makes it so much better. Like. The quiet contempt in all of his lyrics, but the Irish drinking game got me hooked, and I unfortunately wrote a little Irish ditty about today, which I'll be using in the first game. So apologies in advance for that.
Oh, sick. Kills are 20TY.
Off stream feels bad, man.
Off stream, but still.
I have not seen like this. Okay, that was loud. I have not seen anything from WSG so far. I've just seen results. I haven't actually seen anything other than like the 3 times I tuned in. The stream was absolutely crap quality. So,
I tuned in yesterday before I went to sleep. I watched Skylar versus Neeb. It was fine. They must have fixed everything.
That's good to know. Who was that just blew my ears off? Tom KD. $14 comes in. That'll be going right to that Matcherino funds. Ace Kate Scarlet cooking stream. Hype. Oh yeah, we gotta be in click. Oh damn it! Why is my laptop's restarting right now? So it means that the bot's offline for a second. I'll get that back up soon. But yeah, we're less than $500 away from the Scarlet cooking stream. But the thing about this tournament, guys, like we didn't want to push this into high gear until we had the house is ours. Once the players are moved in, we can show you some more cool video and pictures and all this. So again, as of today, we actually have the house. After WESG, Major and Kelazur will be moving in. There's going to be 2 Chinese players. Some of you may know them, some of you may not. Time and Cloudy. They'll be moving in a couple of days, and the Scarlet when she's back as well. So we have a pretty stacked house for the first couple months. I think it'll be pretty cool. Excuse me, pretty awesome. But looks like the bracket is finalized at this point. So let's find a game.
Okay.
Oh, poor Bunny. He's fighting against Bjorn around too. Good luck with that. Penguin against Billowy. Good luck, Penguin. Creator versus Jock, she might not be bad because the winner plays Biol. We've been getting some Biol hype on the stream recently.
Okay. There's also a live versus Seed.
Yeah, winner plays Zest possibly too. I picked last time because you were all I don't care. What do you want to do this time? You pick.
Creator versus Joshi.
Okay, let me go poke him. Actually, is Creator here? Oh, Creator is here. Awesome. Also, thank you whoever just donated. We'll get that in a second. We just want to make sure we get this game going. Alright, we will host.
Oh, yeah. I'll do that.
Alright, okay, cool. Told Josh she will get this going in a second. Thank you to SharkDog58 for the 12-month resubs. Part 2, yay, and then Serpico. Well, calm down, Serpico. $5. Is anyone else / generous? I'm doing my part, .gif. Thank you for the $5. That will go towards the house and all that good stuff. Starting Blair hitting us up for 15 months. And Sphinx Rant as well. Plus Serpico, which I'm guessing is Serpico. Thank you guys for your subs and contributions.
Oh my god, cat. You gotta decide.
So
I'm not.
The bot's still not online. Give me a sec here. I'm gonna try force restarting the computer maybe. It's like stuck at 93% updating. Why is it updating? I didn't say to update. You need my permission for that shit, don't you?
No.
Actually, that's
you
true.
Ignore it long enough.
Yeah, they'll be like, we're just gonna restart now. It'll be like the miners from the miner evacuation co-op mission, which, by the way, is on YouTube. We didn't stream it, so go check out our YouTube channel for that one, guys. YouTube.com/BaseTradeTV. This week's mutation gave us a little bit of trouble, but boom, that happened. Say it fast. Boom, that happened. Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. 4 months in a row.
Are we ready to go yet?
1 sec, guys. Let me make sure the bot's online before you. And it's starting at meow. And we should be good whenever they're ready.
Alright. They're both ready.
I'm also trying to psych myself up here because this is going to be terribly embarrassing. I've written the lyrics down so I don't forget them. I guess the last thing I'll do actually before we get going is tweet about this.
Good idea. So I can retweet.
Yeah, I used tags and everything. I went all out. All right. So let me just get myself into the tune of this. Okay, are you guys ready? I-dee-die-dee-die-dee-die-dee-die-dee-die. Oh, I wake up in the morning for StarCraft to do await. The start time in Korea is a little after 8. Sit right down, enjoy the show. It's sure to be a blast. With Rifkin and Zombie Grub bringing you the cast. So look at the brackets, and who do we see? But pros like Zest, Beyond, Elinok, and even jjakji. And this is the last verse to this silly song. A very awkward ending, so the cast can move along. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BTSL, the Base Trade Star League. This is powered by Twitch, and you're watching it here on Base Trade TV. Top right side of the map, you got the blue Protoss player. It's Creator.
The bottom left is the red Terran. We have jjakji.
All right, out of 10, how'd I do?
7 out of 10.
Nice! I'll take it. That's like a B. A B plus? I'll take it.
It's a C, but
well,
70%, 79%.
From what I learned after I got out of high school, they lowered all the standards pretty heavily, and like 50% became like a pass and stuff. So
Really?
I guess it depends where we're measuring it by, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say because my school was the opposite. Like it was super tough, so that would have been a D in my school. Anyway,
wow.
I only said it 7 out of 10 because it was very good, but I still hate hoedowns.
Well, that wasn't a hoedown. That was an Irish drinking song.
I still hate Irish drinking songs. I hate singing.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, what the fuck, Source, my man Ryan, for that sub. Kicking off the cast, nice and strong with CPP Maniac, 25 months as well. Nothing to see here. Carry on then. jjakji coming across the map with a pretty dang early scout, by the way, with the SCV. I guess not looking to have any sort of Reaper action this game. Just pumps out a single Marine and stays at home.
Super early. Creator's probe is more suspicious than the SCV.
That's true. I was just thinking it's more that, I guess without any sort of Reaper scouting, he went for the reactor so quickly. Going back home, I didn't see the Marine get produced. I was like, oh man, how greedy is he playing, right? Like, this is where one Adept comes and kills everything because you have no units.
Yeah. That still could have happened with one Marine. jjakji is okay. Gonna put down a bunker. That is a safe way to play, but Cyclone also would have saved you from most things. Just is very, very secure. We do have the Mothership Core coming across the map.
Yeah, that probe had snuck around. I thought it was going to dive right on in for a pylon, but I guess not quite going to be the case. The Cyclone's actually going to be really good. It has been better than ever at pushing a lot of this off, but the bunker at the front obviously accomplishes the same job. The Cyclone, not quite the one unit catch-all that it once was, but it can outrange a pylon from the high ground. It can, of course, melt through armored units, so in a lot of ways a very good unit. But actually this is a bit awkward because now as he chases across the map, the Cyclone is a little bit faster than the Mothership Core. He might just be able to get a lock on. No, he goes for the Watchtower for safety, so he's not going to quite catch this, or he still might. It's going to be close.
Well, Creator could always recrawl it if he was really scared about losing it, and it'd still be worth still have energy. Take like a billion shots for Cyclone to kill the Mothership now, so yeah, not gonna get it. Alright. Well, this is a very odd push. Not gonna overcharge.
I think he's waiting. It is hard because like you pop that one overcharge and the Cyclone just backs away from it. Yeah, gets a little bit low and it's a bit scary, but so many Marines push through this. There's another overcharge ready, and this is very important because the Marines could easily take on the troops that are here. It's the overcharge that makes the world of difference.
This is very odd push. Yeah, wouldn't mind even coming up here. It's possible it gets a pretty nice shot. I mean, it's also possible the observer's not around, which is not looks like. There's an Immortal waiting at the top of the ramp if things really get hairy, but I don't think they should. This is such a small, not middle group of units.
I think he's done a fantastic job holding for the time being. But jjakji, unfortunately, has no way to repair this. Sometimes we've actually seen a couple players bring one SCV with this. Just a little bit of repair on the Cyclone can go a long way. But as he distracts, he tries to walk in the Widowmine. Kind of a clever move, but does get caught and pushed back. I like that he keeps the Cyclone alive, but unfortunately for jjakji, his aggression just does not pay off.
No. I guess paying off actually kind of did, in that it kept Creator off of a third. Creator added 2 more gateways during that, and actually has 1 more finisher for the back, so he does have a total of 6 gateways. He could just push and, like, you know, to hell with the third, but I'm like fairly sure that wasn't actually his original plan. And that if he does push, he might still expand behind it. But jjakji has bought enough time not only for, well, I guess Stim to get started, but also for 2 tanks to probably be out by the time Creator gets across the map.
Ah, that's right. I had forgotten. Tanks in general have been proven to be pretty just baller versus Protoss, to say the least. But on this map especially, taking this little advantage point over here has proven to be quite frustrating for a lot of players to deal with. But jjakji's not going to be given that opportunity if Creator's putting on that pressure. That being said, defensive tanks firing for 70 a shot, he's not too worried.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong defense, and Creator is moving out, again, with a lot of gateways in tow. Warp Prism is on the way, too, and he's looking for, I guess, what could have been a very bold third base. It's not actually there, though. It's not even actually down. And he's going to have to try and bust the front. Now, the Observer sees there's no bunker, which is already good news. He's a tank on siege, even better news. And jjakji just does not see this attack coming. He didn't scout anything other than, like, a single gateway. He just has no idea.
Cyclone tries to take the control point in the middle of the map, thinking the watchtower will let him know when it comes down the middle, but unfortunately he moves out.
No.
Creator sees this. jjakji not sniping that Observer. It could just get him killed. Stalker's looking to pounce on this. They don't have Blink. Stim's not done. Combat Shield's is not done. jjakji needs 10 more seconds.
This is a huge mistake.
This is like game over.
It is. It's game for sure, but jjakji, like, not playing super well here. You didn't get any scouting, just assumed there'd be a third base after I assumed he dealt damage, I guess.
He's already abandoned ship in the natural, which actually is a smart move because he would lose everything otherwise, but this engineering base, a lot of depots, there's a lot of stuff you can't necessarily afford to lose. What the Cyclone, hello, goodbye. Force Field's breaking the top of the ramp, Immortal still pushing in. SCV's now getting pulled into the fray, but it's a little too much at this point. The Liberator, if there was no Stalkers, might just be the saving grace, but there's so many Stalkers, they can eventually just throw themselves into it. So many workers go down through this. The Command Center still lives, which is kind of a cool thing, but it feels like there's nothing he can do.
Yep,
GG.
that is going to be game. Not too impressive by jjakji right there.
I feel like what really hurt about that was he had a great army that would have been so amazing for a push and a timing if Creator was playing passive, if Creator was the one chilling at home.
Yeah.
The fact that, like, that Observer, I feel like that Observer single-handedly won the game. Maybe that's pushing it too far, but it did. It helped so much at the end.
Yeah, I mean, because the biggest deal was just, like, not the Observer of the Protoss, but the lack of Observer from the Terran. Like, you should have seen 6 gateways, and if he didn't see 6 gateways, then he should have seen the lack of a third base. And if he didn't see that, then he should have played a very suspicious, paranoid game because he did that attack. And you gotta wonder, like, okay, I know I kept him off a third base because I didn't see a probe move out by its appropriate time. And if I didn't get a third base, then is it possible he's doing a 2-base all-in? And, well, you never seem to really think of that as a possibility. It's just like, overgrowth? Pro's is gonna get a third. That's what they do.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass to you, host. Impact wins 2 over Silky, I guess, by the looks of things while this goes on. Also, Crime Dog hit us up with a new sub. Thank you so much. Terminator 101 in the middle of that game threw in $5 for the pot. 2 says, I love you, man, but please never do that again. Oh, feels bad, man. I was pretty proud of that. I wrote it in like the last 20 minutes before the stream started, yo.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to your songs or your rapping, people just automatically say it sucks or it was cringe, but I actually think that all of them have been pretty good.
Nice.
It's just an automatic response, or maybe it's the whole...
It's the knee-jerk reaction, like when the doctor taps your knee and you kick. It's like, Rifkin sucks!
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Whatever it may be. We are going to be getting into game number 2, loading into Whirlwind, which was jjakji's choice. What portrait is jjakji using? It's like Cthulhu. Oh, that's the
Void Bringer. Whatever.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called right now. So, Zelnaga. There you go. Something like that. Chat will know. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. BTSL game number 2 kicking off here. In the bottom left, we do have the light blue Protoss, currently up 1-0. It's Creator.
In the top right is the red Terran. He is jjakji.
Now this is pretty cool for me because in this matchup right now, we're seeing a lot of just statistical evidence that Protoss seem to be the underdog, and Terran whether it's through all-ins or through Liberators later on, just seem to have the better results. So it's nice to see Creator up 1-0 versus somebody like jjakji, but that game was far from normal out of jjakji, I'd say. The aggression was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Creator's scouting was great. Catching jjakji 10 seconds before his timing, like, oh, it couldn't have gone better for the Protoss.
Yeah, that was really unorthodox, the whole Marine push, 6 Marines pushing through. Like, it didn't ever seem like it was going to do very much, but I guess there's a possibility. There's only one pylon, you just try and, like, burn it down, and then from then on, it's kind of scary. But, of course, Creator technically had 2 more, because he went on the high ground, and then he built another one in the low ground, so... It was good defense by Creator, weird attack by jjakji, and the follow-up, that's what's really going to be the kicker most of the time. 2 tanks, huge bio ball, but Creator was, well, he was prepared for it by attacking. Best offense, best defense, all that jazz, so it's kind of weird. I really thought jjakji picking this map would have gone for a command center first. It seems to be quite common if the Terran picks Whirlwind, but instead just goes for the Reaper expand.
Not even just for Terran picking Whirlwind, but I mean, exclusive to only Innovation. We see Whirlwind, we expect great. Innovation goes like 2 base on with Cyclone Hellion, right? Everyone else is doing what you just kind of described. It's a 4-player map. You can play a little bit more greedy if you want to, and I think greed versus Protoss always pays off for the Terran, but yeah, playing the Reaper, maybe he's a little bit shaken by that last game. Scouting ends up being a little more important to him.
It's potential for sure. You already had to scout with the SCV just to know where your opponent was. If you don't do that, then the Reaper scout's potentially far too late to even help. But I could really see... I could definitely argue in favor of the command center at first, even if you're scared of having to scout something sneaky, because an SCV can do the same job scouting around, but... well. You're going to get the Reaper for extra defense. You're going to have Marines up. He is going for a 2-1-1 follow-up, not just the Widowmine drop follow-up. And,
yeah, looks like he's fighting Zerg, man.
Again. Yeah, of course. Creator's pushing out again. jjakji, I think last time had a bunker.
Yeah, so this time that probe's actually going to get some pylons up, potentially. He's going to try and poke it away. I love the body movement into the probe just to block out the pylons going down. 2 Marines, unfortunately, cannot tangle with an Adept. It does take 3. Unless... Yeah, there we go. The high ground might have worked out for him for a moment. Reaper comes in, ends up hurting the Marine. Feels bad, man. Feels Batman.
The Adept is going to die, but
Nice.
it did injure all of these units. Okay, it's still enough.
Oh, I like how
it
Micro on the
was-
pull back on the Marine. That was clever.
It was always going to be very dangerous to go, or not dangerous, but like, you know, is it really ever going to do that much damage on Whirlwind to try and send the probe across the map when you see it? But Creator almost got away with it. That probe was like 2 seconds, 1 second away. And the Reaper, I guess, survives. Mothership Core was bold. Knew she could take on 3 Marines if one was kind of injured.
That's crazy the difference that makes, by the way. Like, 3 Marines otherwise kill a Mothership Core, but like 40 health and no shields are generating if it was only like 2.5. Like, it's so specific and so precise. I can also try and recall. Looks like we get home just in time. Safe and sound.
Yeah, if those other 2-3 Marines had been with the ones that popped out, damn.
jjakji just barely missed the Warp Prism, by the way. I was watching the vision of the Reaper, so I do not believe he saw that move out. That could be a little bit awkward. Marines are pushing out. Or maybe he did see it. Maybe caught the very clip of it in like the 1 fraction of a second.
Yeah, otherwise that's a very suspicious movement. Unless he's just looking for a proxy pylon, but that's just a...
No, I think he must have seen the Warp Prism briefly. There's no way. Otherwise, this would be like map hacks territory. All right, so catching the tail end of it or not, he unfortunately won't catch it out in the open like I think he wanted to. But
Oh, he might still.
as long as Creator's paying attention, he's not just rallying it, right?
Oh, Creator. Oh, okay.
Okay, so he's paying
Very
attention.
close. Yeah. Oh, that was a good move by jjakji to try and, like, catch it and get a free kill. Not only in the Warp Prism before Adepts, but he could have potentially put himself out of position had the Warp Prism gone any other direction. So it was a little bit scary. In fact, jjakji's, like, moving his Marines entirely the opposite way now.
Yeah, he's got the Viking down here. I think he's feeling safe on that side at least. Backing over Creator, though, a lot of emphasis on jjakji. Creator's actually pumping out those Colossus now, and this is coming out early enough that Marines would certainly be in danger. This is hardly like when we see Beyond play. I mean, Beyond on Whirlwind, it's magnificent to watch TvP. If you guys haven't seen it, it's like CC first, 3 racks, then gas. Just like so many Marines, so many units to push with, and that can take on a Colossus. But with the way jjakji played, and it's like less amount of units and not so many on the field, these Marines are not going to have a good time fighting a Colossus.
No, I mean, it's also about, his creator have a lot of fodder for his Colossus, and right now he actually has a decent amount. 2 sentries for force field and a guardian shield, maybe, and then a handful of adepts. So
this transfer, creator's transfer sees this medevacs moving out too, so he's certainly not going to be getting caught out in the middle of the map. I will say, like, whether it's through luck or skill or whatever you want to like describe it as, creator's scouting through game 1 and game 2 has been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Creator has gotten some very lucky scouts, but I mean, you just increase the chances of your scout the more active you are on the map, so it's like, luck and skill. So Creator feels quite confident. I don't know about pushing into the middle like this. I mean, Whirlwind has this big open area in the middle, and that's not going to be favorable for someone depending on Colossus and a low amount of units. Okay, just take the third base. Taking third base where jjakji did not expect it, by the way. I definitely think he was expecting it towards the more pyramid shape. Triangle shape as opposed to vertical.
This is interesting. Creator splits his units almost perfectly for this. You couldn't ask for a better situation. He's got a cannon set up, several stalkers. Thank God jjakji scans, otherwise he would have lost some of these medevacs. I mean, Blink's not done yet, but he doesn't know that. So turns away, go to the natural instead. Now there's nothing over here but a couple of pylons. Widowmine can burrow. Looks like he'll get those pylons. Nice shot for that Widowmine.
Okay, alright. As long as he didn't lose the medevacs, not bad. He also attacked the third base at the same time.
2 Marines kill a stalker. That was unexpected.
Yep. And jjakji is getting a third base, same location too, while doing the vertical expand, and it's almost done. So I mean, this is still a game, right? Like, even though Creator's gotten some good scouting and a little bit of harassment here and there, they both deflect each other quite well, and have actually maybe even jjakji. I don't know if the lead is the right word, but he is ahead in SCVs. He's ahead in that command center timing ever so slightly, and he could get ahead in upgrades. He doesn't have a double forge.
Yeah, the income graph actually looks a little bit funny. Normally, games like this tend to be a little bit more one-sided, but surprisingly even up until just the last minute.
Yeah. I think there was enough, as I said, enough deflection. The Mothership Core was technically, dealt with, even though she kind of had, got more of a scout than you would have thought was such a weak mothership, and then jjakji, of course, his drops were scouted and they were dealt with very easily too. So it was definitely a bit of back and forth. And jjakji just got the better end of the deal, I think, because he got a couple more SCVs. He got the faster third base, since Creator was going for a slower style. But Creator's slower style economically does still eventually give him a good mid to late game army. I'm a little surprised he transferred over from Colossus after 3, not 4, because of course 4 is usually the magic number, but he's already on his way to Disruptors.
Yeah, the Disruptors, I like having 1 or 2 in the army. I hope he doesn't go too heavy on them, though, because we see more often than not they get bad hits than good hits, but sometimes that miracle happens. As the Liberators come towards the main, they're going to set up a, I guess, landing zone, so to speak. Might be able to just choke off that ramp if they set up over in that direction. Yes, units won't be able to walk in so easily. Pylon goes down, cannon goes down. And these Stalkers have an awkward way to try and engage with those Liberators set up the way they are. Widowmine's going to go off on the Stalkers, picks up, avoids the Disruptor, but unfortunately loses all his Liberators in the process.
That is a little unfortunate, sure. At least he saved his medevacs, so you can actually use the starport time to replace the Liberators. Plus, he has 2 starports, so 3 Liberators at a time coming out. And as I said, he is going to get ahead on upgrades. As Creator still doesn't have a second forge, there's no way he's going to catch up.
This army is not going to quite cut it, but those force fields will buy him time for the rest of the army to respond. Maybe Liberators dive on in, though, and these sentries aren't going to stop those.
Yeah, that maybe should have been a pullback a little bit sooner, as he did lose the sentries that I think had a Guardian Shield, and then the Stalkers can't cover his Colossus, and this, yeah, it is looking super bad.
The Disruptor shot could have been a lifesaver depending on how well it went off, but unfortunately not well enough. Second one misses as well. Liberators do get targeted down. Colossus push in. It's definitely a little bit better for jjakji when it comes to these trades, but not by a whole hell of a lot. We look at the resources laws, and it's more about the current standing army, I think, that tells the better tale the way that went.
Yeah, it's definitely went well for jjakji, and a lot of that had to do with a couple of units coming from the backside, as well as Creator just not having an adept wall in front of those Stalkers, because I think that would have bumped a little bit more time, maybe save the Colossus, maybe, and it would have looked better. But Creator, he took a serious hit He lost the Colossus. He lost so many Stalkers, and again, he's going to be behind in upgrades. jjakji has an opportunity, basically, to win the game, I think, once he's maxed out. But we'll see if he does it correctly, I suppose.
I love this dank memes factory. It's going to be the best scout, I guess, if units come to attack the south side. Psych, just kidding. Adepts warp in, I guess. Ghost Academy gets stalled out by this, which is really annoying, because that is, of course, very expensive and a long building.
Yeah. Yeah, and if he's waiting for ghosts, you know, to get maxed out, to get the perfect... Oh my god.
Boy.
That was a nice shot. The second one got like 4 or 5 Marauders.
Yeah. Vikings in the sky, going to shell away at the Colossus. Liberator set up in a nice spot. These Stalkers are not focusing down the Liberators, though. Now blinking forward to get underneath them, but not before so many of them went down. jjakji's not going to win the game with this fight, but I still think he takes a much better trade.
Yeah, well, Creator didn't focus fire that... 2 Vikings, well, I guess there's a third one in there too, but 3 Vikings should not have killed a Colossus. There's like 2 or 3 Stalkers that weren't even shooting at anything for a while there, and they definitely could have taken out the Viking and probably saved the Colossus at least for a few more shots, because, you know, he's really working on an army that's supposed to eventually get to a max out position and then work, you know, synergize and all that, and he's losing these really important units. He's losing 1 Colossus at a time, and I can understand that Disruptors, you know, replace Colossus with Disruptors, still have a lot of splash, but I don't think you're really supposed to lose the Colossus.
That SCV is the boy who lived, by the way. 1 health on that Ghost Academy. It does finish up finally, but that's a good point. Like, those Vikings were surprisingly effective, I guess we'll say.
Yeah.
I really don't know what's going to be better going forward, though. Like, Liberators or Vikings, I really like Liberators. We've seen them get really good shots, and Creator's not trading out well with them, though.
Well, there's only 1 Colossus left, so I think definitely going to Liberators. I think, like, no Vikings would be fine against 1 Colossus. Marauders can eventually get in there, or the Liberator's going to get 1 or 2 shots on it.
Oh, man.
It's a typical position for Creator.
Dark Shrine coming down is going to be kind of interesting. See if he can shake it up, maybe. I mean, his Adept Warpins have been getting some pretty nice damage, but there's not turrets at every base. So detection, yeah, Terran's got scans, but could still be annoying to deal with.
Creator's being very bold and pushing into jjakji, which is, again, going to be, like, very risky. You know, they both, I guess, have positional units at this point because jjakji is adding in so many Liberators. He needs to be pre-sieged to really have the best fight possible. So pushing into him, I guess, isn't a terrible idea, but going in the middle of Whirlwind and that huge concave availability, there's still a big bio army with a lot of Marauders and good upgrades. It's very risky for Creator.
Well, some problems being had inside the 3rd base. You know, jjakji really impressed me, too, behind this. A lot of good macro. Flips his main over. Doesn't wait too long for that. That's a little bit awkward.
A little bit.
But
yeah, I mean, Creator, he very smoothly got to his 4th base, and that's, like, the best thing about this game is that his early losses of his important units didn't actually contribute to a loss of economy. He's just been pretty good on that, and that's why he survived for so long. But it's still, you know, the situation still reflects in the army supply as Creator's down 40, almost 50.
yeah, it's funny, though, because you look at the resources lost, and it looks much closer than that, but oh, God, these Liberators. These Liberators.
Yeah.
No way, Jose.
Yeah. With enough Disruptors shooting out, and I think he has enough at 5 or 6, maybe he can just buy enough time.
I mean, if he kills the Marauders, then the Stalkers can do their magic, but he's not getting that many Marauder kills. So much of jjakji's army still lives. He's pushing in. And I think even with this Disruptor, he actually helps spread with that force field. Awkward as awkward does. That's going to be game. jjakji destroying the army of Creator, landing the Vikings on top of this, too. Liberators aren't really part of this, but that reinforcement wave is going to be way too much to deal with.
Well, the 5th base is being attacked right now, so it's not mining. That's the good news. DTs are starting the harassment. DTs are also warped in defensively and got quite a few good swipes, even while a scan was going on. I mean, that could have gone much better if Creator had just had maybe a couple more Disruptors, or he hadn't popped 2 of them preemptively. But he's still trying to hold on.
Yeah, some of the Disruptor shots are really awkward, but as long as there's a shot available, you can always get that miracle hit. Maybe, just maybe, but even though the DT gets to the other bases, straight up, Creator loses his. Probe's going to go down as he's trying to retreat out of this, back into a corner in the worst possible way. Focuses down the Disruptors. No shots matter anymore. And even these Stalkers can't, they're trying so badly, so desperately to kill those Liberators.
Yeah, this is definitely game at this point. Down 80 army supply, and well, jjakji just played a, well, long game against Protoss player, but one with continual advantages gained, so
yeah,
really to add up.
It's still cool though, because it really was until I'd say the 12 or 10 minute mark that he finally got broken. Creator played really well that game up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, not to mention on top of this, he had, yeah, I really liked his scouting. A lot of good information that game. But it's going to be Creator's choice for a map 3, and it's nice to get a map 3 right off the bat. Winner of this, where are we at in the bracket here? Plays against Buell. That'd be kind of cool. Someone versus Zerg.
Yep.
Looks like Solar is playing against Super. Patience against somebody. Unfortunately, Penguin lost to Billowy. Feel sad, man. But I guess we'll wait a moment to find out what the map is. So I guess we'll go to our first commercial break of the day. Thank you guys for watching. Stick around. 2 minutes. We'll be back with game number 3. All right, folks, you probably hear those beeps as we're coming back into the game. Map number 3. Things tied up now 1-1. Of course, you guys are watching the BTSL. Quick notes that this tournament is powered by Twitch. What that means is Twitch is helping provide the prize pool for this solely and entirely, which is pretty awesome and pretty rad, as they've also helped us power up our Corsair Cups and another unannounced event that will be coming in the near future. So super glad to have them on board, helping us make awesome StarCraft content. And that being said, in the bottom right side of the map, we do have the blue Protoss. It is Creator.
In the bottom left is the red Terran. He is jjakji.
So Zombie Grub, I have a question
What?
for you.
Yeah, right.
Do you know when a dad joke... Excuse me. Do you know when a regular joke becomes a dad joke?
When?
When it becomes apparent.
I get it. There's a pun.
Actually, I had some good... I made a couple of good original StarCraft ones this weekend on Twitter. Did you catch either of those?
No.
Okay, how do you know Zerglings like fruits and not vegetables?
How?
Because they always come in pairs.
Okay.
Okay, what do you call an what do you call an infester that's also a detective?
What?
An investigator.
Ah.
I'm eventually gonna have more than 5 jokes, and when that happens, beware of my stand-up comedy routine, guys. It'll be excellent.
Yeah?
I'll be better
Yeah?
than Liam Neeson, I'll tell you that much.
Well, everyone's better than me.
Why did he become such... He's always in such bad movies now. He's such a good actor, and he's got such a great voice. But he's in such bad movies.
What other bad movies is he be in besides Taken 2 and 3?
Chronicles of Narnia?
What? Chronicles of Narnia, the first movie was really good.
Not the other ones.
Okay, that's true. But no one remembers the other ones. They were bad, but they were also mediocre, you know? So it wasn't like totally terribly bad.
So it's not bad enough that it's like known.
Yeah,
that
not
it's
like
bad.
Taken 3. Taken again.
Fair enough. So jjakji, by the way, throwing down a lot of extra barracks this game. Looks like he wants to pump out some Marines to go all Beyond Styles on his opponent. I think this is a really good choice, not based on the map or anything, but just on the read he got off of Creator in that second game. Like it was a less fast to this version of a build he did last time, I guess I would describe it, and he got some pretty good damage with it. So having more units out sooner, having more tech out faster, I think he gets over there and does a lot of damage.
Less fast version of this. So slower?
Well, that's the thing though, because it wasn't like a slow build. It just wasn't as fast as this. So I guess slower would be a technically appropriate term, but I don't feel like it describes it.
Okay. Well, it was the command center first, right? Into 3 racks follow-ups. That's a lot of units.
Look, I know where words go and where Egypt is, okay? I don't need to prove myself to you or anyone else.
Oh, I was like, what does Egypt do this? Then I remembered.
I'm bad at geography.
It's not that you don't remember where Egypt is, because it doesn't matter in Civ. It's that you don't remember who Egypt is represented by.
It's Aladdin.
And also you're a little racist.
It's Aladdin.
Yeah.
Don't laugh at that. Okay. Anyways, Blink is getting chronoed out here pretty quick. The nice thing for creators, okay, maybe that's a little bit of damage and maneuverability through these stalkers. The downside, though, is I think Adepts in a straight-up battle, if it's big 2-base all-in versus big 2-base all-in, I think Adepts stand out a lot better than stalkers are going to against what jjakji's hoping to bring. That SCV scout in the main was kind of cool. I did get to see a lot, including that Twilight Council. Of course, it is a bit of a guess what it's going to be, whether it's Resonating Glaives or Blink. Sure. Don't know if I can't remember if it was the stalkers that killed that SCV or not, but if he sees 3 stalkers now going back, I think I have a pretty good idea that it's Blink. You just don't see 3 stalkers out this early like this.
Well, I think the scout in the 3rd base also kind of tells that it is going to be Blink. I mean, Resonating Glaives first in a part of a macro build, I would say is definitely the more... It's the rarer of the two. If you're going to go for 3rd base in a typical game, I suppose, like you did the last 2, then it is going to be Blink first, and then maybe Resonating Glaives after. So it is still surprising. Like, jjakji might see this 3rd base and think that, okay, it's like mass gateway armies, so Resonating Glaives doesn't include that, but it's actually just a faster 3rd, but Creator's still going into the Robotics Bay, Colossus. He's seen the amount of stalkers out too, so he's got to know that there's Blink available.
He can catch this. Stim gets on top of that really quick, but as he blinks away, he can now use the Stim to get on top of that pylon before it runs out. Downside is, without a medevac, though, healing these units is going to be tough, and every Stim is going to really hurt jjakji. He has to commit to a fight if he's going to fight. High ground is something he can kind of get away with a little bit here, and that's what he's trying to use against Creator. He's getting a lot of damage on the stalkers, but if he doesn't get the kills, then it doesn't really matter. That Marauder is so close to one-shotting a lot of these units.
There you go. Gets 2, almost 3. I'm really impressed with Creator's control. He did save a lot of really crucial units to at least buy more time, but then he loses all of those stalkers while we look away. Quite bad.
Well, looking away at the danger that's coming, those stalkers dead or alive, there's not a lot left of remaining to defend the main. Remaining, I suppose. There's another pun for you. The overcharge is going to help out a little bit, but this is still a lot of... Oh, it doesn't reach!
It reaches enough that the stalkers can use it to help, basically. So that was enough. And Creator did save his 3rd base. So as long as he can withstand the constant follow-up aggression, which I think he can, he just has to have good positioning, then that 3rd base is going to be really nice.
So he can, but it's almost like an asterisk for now, because for jjakji, this has been a lot of Marine production. The second this swaps over into a lot of Marauder production, those stalkers don't stand a chance in hell. Neither does that Colossus.
No.
Also, thank you to Dove and Wolf for the 1,000 bits. Very much appreciated. Always nice to see. Always nice early morning surprise to see BaseTradeTV streaming. Kappa. Yeah, we are... it's so rare that we're ever up this early.
I get it. A joke.
I hate it. I have not woken up earlier than like 11 p.m. at all this whole week.
Earlier than 11 p.m.?
Yeah, my body's on the wrong side of the world right now.
Yeah, that's weird. So you've been awake for 4 hours?
Yeah.
Huh. That sucks.
It's like go to sleep around 1 or 2 whenever I'm feeling tired enough to pass out, and wake up at like 11 to 12.
Wow.
It's a nice amount of sleep. It's more sleep than I get on average because I'm used to sleeping like 5 hours maybe, but it's I'm in the Korean time zones where I am.
Maybe you're just a day sleeper.
Maybe, or we've just been casting a lot of Korean events, so we've been gone.
Or you're a vampire.
Shut the front door, zombie grub.
Help.
All right, the amount of stalkers available, it's nice, but it's not exactly, I think, adequate buffer. And everything's out of position, being in the 3rd, expecting the attack to come that direction. We have everything abandoning ship, Mothership Core included. So jjakji surprises him by getting into the main. Full unload before these overcharges go down. Pylons falling, Mothership Core going to die. As the stalkers respond, looks like another small attack. No, it's just one Marine to the north side.
Well, Semi's core is picked off. He does lose a handful of the... Alright.
I feel like moments like that are like watching an old black and white film, a slapstick, like Charlie Chaplin comedy. He fell off the skyscraper. Oh no!
Like the Three Stooges. Like first you get slapped in the face by a stalker, and then the other person slaps the stalker in the face with a Marauder. And then they get the medevac at the end.
Actually, how great would that be? That'd be StarCraft mod, where when units got hit by things, they had like the Three Stooges noises start playing, right? Like a Marine shoots a zealot, it's like nya nya nya.
That would actually be amazing. That'd be the stupidest mod ever. It's like a mod with one change.
It's like, have you ever seen those videos on YouTube where the guy replaces all of Half-Life sounds with his voice? So like every
No.
little walking step, every gunfire, it's like him going blah, 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 pew, 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 stuff like that.
I have not. That sounds appropriate though. That sounds good. All right, so Creator has withheld enough of the attacks to feel confident moving out himself, and I think this is actually well deserved. I think he did very well defending, and his third base was so early and so powerful that his army supply is even, and jjakji doesn't actually have that much of an answer for the Colossus. He was only going to have 4 Vikings. I think the last 2 are a bit later.
I went to the gym today. I deserve this. It's like his own little
Yeah,
special
exactly.
treat getting to attack. But he
Yeah,
does
as
force
you would.
jjakji to lift. The SCVs are pulled, so already indirectly damage has been done. But it is a matter of like, can jjakji hold at the top of the ramp? I think a concave would be great, but there's still not that many units for him. The one Liberator setting up on the other side of the map is also denying mining a bit. Nope, take that back. Apparently it's the natural that got pushed off, not the third. But either way, both players losing out quite a bit of income while this goes on. jjakji getting supply blocked really sucks considering just how badly he needs units right now. And with all these Guardian Shields, there's no easy way to take a fight.
jjakji being supply block is a really big deal, and just lacking money in general. If he could continue producing 4 Vikings at a time, I think the Colossus would eventually just be sniped without doing very much. But as it is right now, 1 Colossus does get sniped, 2 can still have a lot of damage output on such a clumped up bio army.
Force fields though, and that's a good choice to lift the command center to get his units out there. Colossus goes down, another one about to fall. The Colossus is the only thing keeping the bio army back. The barracks units are better than the gateway units. Once they get unleashed from these force fields, a flood of Terrans going to come forward. But jjakji had pulled his SCVs. I don't feel like totally necessarily either, so losing out on 40 workers, down to 19, and he's losing out a good chunk of his army? I don't know about jjakji. I think like if he had kept those SCVs alive, this was a good win for him.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he needed to pull all the SCVs. He could have saved at least, I would say, 15. And having, what, 36, I can do math, SCVs is much different than having 19. He does still have 3 command centers, and Creator, of course, is going to be mining out of his main base soon. So there's, like, a potential. But jjakji would have to, like, be pushing and continuing his advantage with his higher army supply.
I think what was so killer watching that, though, was you consider all the bio was stuck back here with the force fields. Those Vikings were really on the front lines shooting the Colossus, and the Stalkers were shooting them. The SCVs kind of got pulled needlessly. They weren't buffering for anybody because everyone was trapped behind the force fields. That's what I think is the worst part of that. Because if that was like a full-on SCV pull and the units weren't trapped, oh, that was such a good move out of jjakji. But as we saw, it ended up just being a terrible struggle at the end.
I agree. His Vikings also did a better job than I thought they would. Of how many Stalkers were available, I thought like 6 to 8 Vikings wouldn't be enough to kill 3 Vikings, or 3 Colossus, but they were, so... I thought he was in a more screwed position, and he certainly made a mistake with the SCVs, but jjakji is trying to hold on. But as I said, like I really think he should be pushing his advantage. Like coming back from 17 SCVs is going to be pretty difficult to do. I think it's possible, even if you don't ever attack and they can get their 4th base up, but I think you're making it a lot harder on yourself if Creator does end up getting a 4th base. Just because, you know, your army's not moving around.
I'll give chase the Stalkers. Catch 1 or 2 of them with concussive shells. It's kind of nice to see. But I guess we're going to see in the income graph just how powerful mules were. It looks like they weren't that powerful, unfortunately, for jjakji, but he does try and bring himself back into this. I mean, this right here is exactly when all those SUVs went down. Just a huge, huge plummet. But army supply graph looks a little bit interesting, too, because this was so close for so long in the last 10 minutes of this game. And then just that's where that fight really took an advantage.
Yeah. I mean, jjakji still has an advantage. He could still push right now, even has like an upgrade advantage here, and do a lot of damage. At least force Creator to invest in an army as opposed to a 4th base, but he's already got the 4th base. So if jjakji doesn't go up there and kill that, then it should just be free mining.
I can understand why jjakji's playing so tentative and scared. He knew just where he was at, and any amount of harass could really have tipped him over the edge. But I agree, like, having pushed and not giving Creator time to recover may have been the better option. Now Creator's had a lot of time to recover. There's Archons, there's Disruptors. I think the Air Army's still better for jjakji, but, you know, these Vikings only have 1 Colossus to take down.
He really pushed in quite too, like, way too far to kill, I think, a single Liberator. Oh, lordy, though. I still think he did a mistake there. He pushed in because he saw an opportunity to kill a Liberator that was like too far forward, but he didn't have enough Stalkers to kill it fast enough. And because it wasn't just his Stalkers, he lost so much retreating out of 3 Liberator zones.
I mean, right now, by the way, we're seeing just how much of a better decision Disruptors were than Colossus. But once those Liberators can finally get more forward, as you see, he's diving in, he's trying to focus them down. Marauders splitting in a very awkwardest of ways, but they get the job done. Another Disruptor falls. But funny enough, his army's not good enough to take on the Archons.
Yeah, he got too much killed at that one Disruptor to the top. That killed, like, I don't know, 16 first supply.
Oh, all the units. Good. All the units are in that medevac. I mean, jjakji is really...
Oh my god, I think he's done it.
Creator, my man, GG. This really should have been jjakji's game, I feel.
I think so. I think, you know, he would have either denied or kept him off a 4th base by making him invest in army earlier, or he would have just killed the army that wasn't there and actually won the game, because if there's not 2nd, 3rd, 4th Disruptors, then there's not a good enough army.
Well, now we get to see a pretty fantastic PvZ that comes up next with Creator advancing on to fight against Biol. Biol, who has been our resident Zerg Bonjour the last few weeks. I'm curious to see how he'll do. That being said, we are going to go off to a commercial break. When we return, we'll get the series set up. It'll be a best of 3, fresh and brand new. Thank you guys for watching the BTSL, and we'll see you soon.